Hey there, Plant Girl here. It's now August the 12th, and here in Saskatchewan, Canada, that means I only have about 5 weeks until my average last frost, which is about 35 days. And I still have a few more crops that I'd like to get going. So today I'm going to be going out and planting. Oh, if I don't destroy them first. Wonder who you were. I have some creeping thyme here that's caught up with what I want to plant. It's crept right into my other plantings. Here we go. So now that I've saved them from the creeping thyme that's invading their space, I'm going to be planting out these cauliflower. So what varieties do I have here? Freedom, Minuteman, and Early Snowball. These varieties take less time to get to maturity, and cauliflower is a nice cool weather loving crop, so they'll do well. It's hot out right now, but as they get settled in, get their roots settled into the ground, the days will be starting to get shorter and cooler. The nights are definitely cooler, and they should do well and get me another crop of cauliflower as long as we don't get a really hard frost early on in September. Usually we'll get a few lighter frosts about mid-September, and then we can have some pretty nice weather with, just like I said, just light frost some evenings and not even all nights right into October. So that should give these guys time to mature and finish. I'm also going to start some cabbage seeds. And again, these are the kind of shorter day cabbage. So I have one that's 45 to 50 days from transplant, one that's 50 days, and one that's 73 days. So we'll see about that. But so I have Taiwan, Stonehead, and Katarina. All very nice cabbage that I enjoy growing, eating, and using for various things. And I'd like to see if I can get another crop out of them. I can always throw some frost covers over these plants and they will still do well. And I'm thinking I can be growing these right usually until about the end of October. I think our weather is good enough here in Saskatchewan, Canada, especially the last few years, to be able to get away with growing both the cauliflower and the cabbage. Cauliflower doesn't like huge extremes in temperature, but I think for what we're going into, it should be okay. And like I said, they can both handle the cold. So as long as we don't get any really hard frosts, then they should be fine. Sometimes the last few years we've been getting a big dump of snow right at the end of October. That could end their growing season if it gets too much on them, but I think it's worth risking the few seeds and seedlings and time to try and get that next crop in. I'm going to sow the seeds for the cabbage real quick here in my greenhouse, and then we'll take the seedlings out to my garden and get them planted in their space. Here's my little seed tray that I have out here, and I've just put some potting soil in. And I haven't filled them quite right to the top. And I forgot to bring out my markers, so I'll just reuse this tag that I found in my tag pile. I'm going to put the Taiwan down the middle. And then these little trays actually have numbers and letters on them, so you can keep track of the squares. So I'm going to put the Katarina in row C. And about approximately 2 seeds per cell. So here they are. These seeds are coated, so they kind of have a gray tinge to them. So put 2 here, 2 here, 1, I get 1 more out, there. 2 here. So I'll put the Taiwan in row B. So I grew both the Katarina and the Taiwan in the spring. Had some very nice crops off of them, even though we had some cool weather. They did really well. So again, I put 2 seeds each, and then the stone head is another one I really like to grow. And oh, that one got 3 seeds it looks like, but these are actually older seeds too, so we'll put 3 in a couple of them. I'm just going to get a bit more potting soil to sprinkle on top. And there's absolutely nothing special about this potting soil I'm using. Cabbage seedlings are usually pretty strong. I maybe won't put this big chunk of wood in, but... And I'm burying them about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch deep, around 1 centimeter. Just give them all a little pat, give them good contact with that potting soil. And then I just have a dish of water that I filled out of my rain barrel. Just going to stick them in there, let them soak it up, and then I will come and dump it out later after I'm done the other planting. That should give them lots of time to soak up that water. And then I'll put them on this tray where these other plants are, and it has a wicking mat in it to help keep them nice and moist. This is some decorative cabbage I was growing, some like flowering cabbage. It's gotten a little crazy, so I'm not sure I'm going to wind up using it. And this is the carpet thyme I still need to plant out. It's been hanging out here waiting. Get my seeds put away. So these will go back in the house with me later. Let's take these cauliflower out and try and find some space for them in my bed of cauliflower and broccoli. So we're out at my broccoli and cauliflower bed here with our seedlings. I just need to uncover it because I keep a net on these plants here to help keep the cabbage moths off. Now I do know I was a little lazy in covering it for a few days where it didn't seem like we had any cabbage moths even in the yard. I'm not sure how I thought that was possible. And I have noticed a few under here, so that should be your warning. Always keep your brassicas covered. So I am going to just pull the netting off. And if you're wondering where I got this netting, it was from Amazon. I have not been able to find a link for it in a long time. I don't think the company that was selling on there is doing so anymore. So I'll look again for you. If I can find it on there, I will put a link to the product that I purchased. But that's the best I can do. I've had it for years. It's great. It's grommets in the bottom. I love it. I wish I could find more. So I have a few cauliflower in here that are trying to form heads. And then I have one that's kind of past its prime. And then I have some I've harvested, but I haven't got the plants out yet. So I'm going to do a little cleaning up in here, and then we can get those seedlings planted. So you can see this head got just blown out. I guess I didn't pay enough attention to it, and it's going to be really bitter and not good. So this will just go in the compost. Then I have a couple plants that I've harvested from. So I'm just going to pull their stalks out here. I'm just cutting the stalks off, and I'll leave the roots in the ground. Pull out some weeds. This is kohlrabi right here that has done nothing, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And it seems like I have a real aphid problem in here. See that on this turnip leaf? Look at all those aphids there. That's disgusting. So, that's a lot of aphids to wipe off. Like, look at this. That's disgusting. Huh. Oh, then good. There's flea beetles crawling around on there too. Got some real pest action happening in here. So it's the one problem with keeping your crops covered up. It's harder to keep an eye on what's happening. This is little cauliflower seedlings or broccoli, I can't remember. Covered in aphids. Oh man. Well, I think I'm gonna sprinkle some diatomaceous earth in here when I'm all done, because trying to spray these all off with the hose I don't think is gonna work. And I think getting some diatomaceous earth in would help. I'll also pull some of these plants that don't need to be here. Like I just see there's another cauliflower I didn't even know existed down there that's totally blown. Some huge turnips there. I could harvest a couple of those. We'll get some of these plants out of here. That'll help clean up the bed a bit. I might just cut off some of these really bad leaves. Just try and squish what I can on these little seedlings. I'm just gonna take the leaf that's covered in aphids and I'm just gonna rub the aphids off. Wasn't what I was planning to do today. Let's deal with aphids. I don't ever remember aphids being an issue on my brassicas. Okay. That leaf, not bad. This one's really covered. That one's pretty covered. Just oh man. So this isn't even growing anything but aphids, so I'm just going to take this little root out of there. So I'm just doing a combination of trying to wipe them off, and then like I said, I'll come in and sprinkle some diatomaceous earth across. That'll help with the flea beetles as well. Some real pest action happening in here. I'm really surprised, like turnip leaves are kind of spiny. Very surprised aphids are on them. I also have slugs down in here. I already knew that. And a little bit of root minor. This bed's a problem child. I have a couple old broccoli plants here I'm gonna take out. They're not really producing a lot of extra heads or little florets on them. And they're just gonna be providing more food for the pests, so just get rid of these. This is a new baby plant here. Leave that guy. This is a new good plant. We'll leave it. It doesn't even look like it has a lot of aphids on it, so that's good. There's a new young plant there. This broccoli's already been harvested off of. That's the stump where I cut the main stalk. There's just a couple of small side shoots on this giant plant. So we'll take those, and then I can take this whole big plant out of here, and that'll cut down on the aphid population, I'm sure. So. Okay, back to the job at hand. Let me move this so you can hopefully see. Okay, so I have 3 kinds of cauliflower, like I think I told you already: Freedom, Minuteman, and Early Snowball. And then I have a few little de purple planted in here. Oh, I can still just see aphids all over this one. Get off my plants. So I'm going to just try and plant these in along the drippers here wherever I can find space, and hopefully they'll have enough room to grow. I'm going to add a little bit of horticultural lime into the planting holes. I'm so distracted by all these aphids. Okay, just everywhere. So I have 9 plants altogether, so let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drippers, and then there's a couple more down that way. So I'm just going to sprinkle some lime in the holes that I made here. And I don't need very much, and you could just sprinkle it right on the roots. That's what some people do, but lime is just good. A lot of brassica plants like cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, they prefer a sweeter soil, so adding that little bit of lime in helps to do that. And there's some calcium in there too, which is good for them. So let's start with Freedom. I'm going to put the tag here, and hopefully I can remember that I'm going to kind of zigzag around here with these plants. Now there's 3 here, so I'm going to try and just snip 2 out. Hopefully I didn't damage the roots too much. Try and plant them down a bit deeper, and they'll grow strong that way without being knocked around as much. That one down nice and deep. And I want to just pack the soil hard, kind of tight around them. They seem to like that. So next will be Minuteman, which I have a tag in here for. I'll take these out. Again, I'm just going to select one of the plants to be the one I want. Stick it in this hole that already has the lime in. I need to dig it a bit deeper. And put the plant down kind of as close to the leaves as I can, and nice and tight. So I'm just going to keep trying to go along the drip lines down this way in the space I have. And hopefully I have room for all of these. I can just see aphids all over these turnips, so I'm just taking these couple small ones out to be enough left behind in the soil just from moving them around. They're all over the stump of this cauliflower. Oh, they're crazy. I don't know if I've ever had an infestation of aphids like this. They're on the drip tubes. They're on me. I'm not sure these plants will survive, to be honest. Okay, so I need 4 more holes. That's 2, 3, found another Minuteman cauliflower tag, so I'll use that. Oh, I need the lime. So just a little sprinkle in each hole, just to kind of get them off to a good start. And down deep in the hole, cover it up. So now the rest will be early snowball. This is one that got knocked about when I was trying to get them away from the carpet thyme. That's a pretty tiny little guy there. Not sure he'll survive the onslaught of pests we have here. Like the aphids are on the tags as I'm putting them in here. That's crazy. Okay. So I thought about just grabbing a few ladybugs to put in this bed. I don't know if that will be enough. There's so many aphids in here. And then they'd be trapped in here. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know what the right answer is, but I think I'm gonna go with the diatomaceous earth first. Sprinkle it heavily around these new seedlings, and then I'll sprinkle it on the plants that are in here. I get the lid open. And then I'll just keep an eye on things, and I may need to come back in and bring some ladybugs in after the diatomaceous earth is kind of settled in a little bit. But like, here's a root maggot, I think. Oh, there's just no end to the pests in this bed. That's the one downfall to having it netted, is there's no natural predators getting in, but somehow all the bad guys seem to find their way in. I don't want to coat the leaves so much that they can't photosynthesize. Oh, that one might be, well, that was so far in there. Might not see sunshine anyways. And I just realized I didn't water these in. Let me do that. That'll just help really settle the soil around the roots. And now let's diatomaceous earth these guys. I'm just going to go around the entire bed on all these plants and just give them a good sprinkle of this, trying to be downwind from it. I mean upwind from it. I don't know what I want. Well, that's gardening for you. I started out with the plan to just plant a few seeds and pop a few seedlings out into my brassica bed here. I did get that done. I also wound up doing a little bit of a harvest, a little bit of pest control, and a garden bed cleanup. So thanks for coming along with me, and don't forget, if you enjoy watching my videos, to hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. It really helps out my channel a lot. And check back to see what I'm doing in the garden next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.